We are going to transition into working on our simile poem final draft. This will be based off of the simile poem rough draft that you would have started in your poetry packet number 3. If you completed the previous lesson at home, you would have filled out the first section of your poetry packet number 3 and created a simile poem rough draft. This poem, which would be 10 lines or longer, would contain 5 or more similes and have 2 other poetic devices, and also includes whatever emotion you chose to focus on in it should be already written. Now, on the off chance that you did not get this done and you're at home on your on-home day, you might have to go back and visit that, which means you might have to go back into your previous lesson. So for this student, it was in their Tuesday folder. If you are in the B group, it would be in your Wednesday folder. And here is the original lesson showing you how to write the simile poem. And you will need to watch the video to guide you through the process. Once you have watched this video and you have completed your rough draft, you'll be able to move on to the final draft today. The final draft will be in today's folder on Schoology. So if you're in the A group, it's in the Wednesday folder. If you're in the B group, it'll be in the Thursday folder. Here it is, the simile poem final draft. You're going to use the rough draft that you already wrote to fill it in. You're going to complete the final draft attached below using Cami, and then you'll turn it in when it's done. Please know that the final draft is officially due on Friday the 23rd, and it's officially due by midnight. So when I open up my simile poem final draft with Cami, here it is. Now I've highlighted the requirements. These are the items that have to be in the poem. I will look for these when I am grading it. Here's where you can type your poem. Again, you're simply typing up the rough draft that you wrote into your packet. So I go over here, I select text box, and with that text box, I can fill this up and start typing. So I would start with my title, which I'm going to put in the middle. And then I skip down a couple of lines, head back over to the left, and then I simply start typing what I already had in my rough draft. So the first line of my rough draft is, "Fear is like running through the woods at night." Fear is like running through the woods at night. Now that I'm at the end of my first line, I want it to go down to the next line. So I'm going to hit the enter button. That takes my cursor down and allows me to write the second line of my poem. So now the second line of my final draft matches the second line of my rough draft. Again, I'm now going to hit enter so that I can type in my third line. Fear is as scary as a roller coaster. Now I'm ready for my fourth line. I hit enter again, and I'm going to continue this process until I get to the bottom of my poem. So now here you can see I have written my entire poem using the rough draft that I put into packet number 3. Now I can go through this poem and I can make changes. I can add to it. I can subtract some stuff that I don't like. I can change. Before I submit though, I need to make sure that it still meets the requirements. So I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to remember that I must include the emotion I focused on in the poem. I focused on fear. Here it is. My poem has to have at least 5 similes in it. So I would go through and count my similes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I can have more than 5 similes, but I can't have less without losing points. My poem had to be at least 10 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And finally, it had to have 2 additional poetry devices from this list. And when I wrote my rough draft, I knew I wanted to use repetition and rhyme. I still have my repetition because I have several lines that start with fear is. In fact, the word fear itself pops up 5 times. And I know I have my rhyme because I have me and see. So now that I know I have met all of my requirements and I'm happy with my final draft, I'm going to go over here to turn in. I'll click turn in again, and it's going to take me all the way back to Schoology where I will submit my final draft to be graded. And now it is turned in so my teacher can read it and grade it. If you have any questions, please talk to Ms. Borkerding. The remainder of the class is going to be work time. If you are one of those who did not get your rough draft written yesterday, please start there. If your rough draft is written, you can start on your final draft, which is in today's Schoology folder. And if you have any time left over at the end of the hour because you have submitted your final draft, you can use that time to work on your anchor unit or your independent novel. During work time, please respect the workspace volume. If you have headphones or earbuds and need to listen to this video, that's great. Otherwise, make sure you keep your volume low. Stay focused on your schoolwork and remember to keep your phones away. At this point, you have the rest of the hour to work.